and nobody calls you on the phone. Or don't you feel like crying? Don't you feel like crying? Well, here I am, honey. Come on, you cry to me when you're all alone in your lonely room, and there's nothing but the smell of her perfume.
Hello and welcome to Wednesday Winos, and it's brought to you by Kangaroo Ridge Retreat and also Watts River Brewing. I'm Rebecca from Kangaroo Ridge Retreat, and I'm with. Oh, hang on, wait, Ben, you're not. Try again. Not again. Try again.
I'm Ben from Watts River Brewing.
Hi and welcome. It's Hump Day, and we're talking all things delicious and yummy from the Yarra Valley region. So, yeah, how's it going, Ben? Oh, wait a minute. Sorry, I wanted to do a shout out last week. We had Carolyn from Bird on a Wire. We drank her Syrah. It was super delicious. So, thank you so much for joining us on Wednesday Winos. So, yeah, how's it going, Ben?
Yeah, really good. So there's a few really positive things happening at the brewery. So we're getting more. So we've got our 20-seat restaurant still going at the moment, and that will continue this weekend. But the good news is we can open up a little more the following week. And so just look out for the new rules and please make a booking before heading to the brewery. But it's been really positive so far.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah, we're working too. We're welcoming guests as well at Kangaroo Ridge Retreat. So it's been quite full on as everything's ramping up as we're welcoming guests again. But it's been wonderful. Everybody's been looking after each other. So thank you for everyone who's coming into the Yarra Valley and being kind and patient with everything as everyone's learning everything. So today we're talking beer. That's why Ben's here, and we're talking Watts River and Mr. Quincy. So if you have any questions for Ben or myself or anything, put them in the comments below. We'll get to them. And so Ben, tell us about Mr. Quincy.
Well, so we started this beer pretty early on at Watts River Brewing. So we do it once a year, just after quince season. We have one of our customers works on a quince farm. So he lets us know when they're ready and drops them off for us. But both Aaron and Aaron Mullenborg, the other brewer at Watts River, we both love quinces. So we thought it'd be great to make a quince beer. So this is the third time we've made it. And each time we tweak it a little bit just to try to improve it a bit on the previous year or take a slightly different direction. So in the past, we've found it's been probably the quince hasn't shined enough. So it's been a little bit sort of more stone fruity or something like that. So this year we've changed the process a little bit. So the last two times we made it, we've actually stewed the quinces in the brew kettle overnight and pre-boil as part of the brewing process, and then pulled them out and then continued on the brew process. Whereas this year we decided to try to get a sort of fresher, more vibrant quince flavour. We separated the two processes and brewed the beer, and then we juiced 100 kilos of quinces this year, which is quite a lot for a 500 litre batch. Last year was just 50 litres.
Well,
and yeah, so we boiled them up, and then we added them to the fermenter along with a bit of vanilla this year. So I think the quince flavour definitely comes through a lot more than it has in previous years. What are you getting on the palate, Rebecca?
I have to think about it a little bit.
Mostly quinces.
So I'm not that familiar with quinces, actually. So I confess that the most time I've ever eaten quinces was actually with you and Hannah when we'd have this stewed 24-hour Ben and Hannah quinces. I think I still have some in a can in my pantry. So with custard, but it's definitely a different flavour. I can Now that you said that vanilla, I didn't know that there was vanilla in there. That can.
Yeah, we stuck a little bit in this year. It's quite often recommended to put vanilla when you're poaching quinces. So we thought, the two flavours work really well together. So let's put some in. So we just got some vanilla paste and added it. So
how much vanilla paste do you put in for 100 kilos of quinces?
Oh, we didn't put in heaps. It was just trying to remember. I think it was like it's like 100 grams or something like that. So not to be overpowering, but just to be in the background. So I think, yeah. So, and definitely works well with the quince flavors. And I think it's more. We've done a few other things with this brew. So we cut back the hops. So in previous years, we added quite a bit of hops too to work with the quince flavour. But this year we stripped it right back and stripped the malt bill back just to let the quinces really pop out.
It's not sweet. That's good.
Oh.
No,
none of it. Generally, none of our beers are sweet, as I think Hannah, who for people out there that don't know is my wife. So yeah, we like at Watts River, all of us just really like dry beers. So it's pretty rare we'll do a sweet beer.
The malt is not overpowering.
No. So this year we've just used mostly just Pilsner malt with a little bit of wheat, whereas in the past we've used some like oats and other stuff to really sort of beef the malt bill up. But this year we stripped it right back to try to get that quince to really shine and pop out of the beer. So
what does Aaron think of this one?
Yeah, I think he thinks it's good. It's like quince flavour is definitely a lot more prominent and is more quincy, as people know quinces, and the vanilla. But we weren't sure whether it would come through and weren't really sure how much to add. So I think we got it about right. But yeah.
If you were going to change the process again, what are you thinking for next time?
More quinces, maybe. We seem to double it every year. I think the first year we started off with 25 kilos, and last year was 50, and then this year is 100. And so we put 100 kilos of quinces through a domestic juicer, and on the very last quince, it died. Poor little fella.
I've tried juicing my apples here, the apple trees that I grow. My juicer didn't last not vintage, but the amount that I had.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But I got one from my grandmother, and it's lasted two years now. It's a nice thing from the 70s, so it's not a cheap one that comes from this modern times.
I think quality makes the difference. It's a good brand.
I did have a question. So, how do people? What's the reception of the Quince Red Ale?
People love it and ask for it. Like, we have people coming in, when are you doing it again? So generally it's like super popular, and we've only done 500 litres this year, and it'll rush out the door. So
okay.
And people will be upset again because they didn't get any. So they'll have to wait another year.
Yeah.
So for those that want it, it will. Yeah, there's only 25 cases or something, and they're already selling quite strongly. So I reckon probably 2-3 weeks, and if that, then they'll be sold out.
Oh yeah. Oh, so everyone's got to be quick.
Yes, quick.
Wow. Okay. So we didn't talk much about. Okay, so 2 questions about red ale. What makes a red ale, and then not just the color, I guess. And what yeast? Did you choose a yeast or anything like that?
It's just our house yeast, so pretty neutral yeast. Again, using neutral yeast to let the quinces really shine and not overpowering it with other flavours. And red ale. So red ales are normally just have a red hue, which you can get generally. So this one's definitely got a red hue to it, and it gets that in this beer from the quinces, because quinces start out as a really pale yellow, and if you cook them for a long time, they go a burgundy red. So we cook these for like, can't remember, it's at least 12 hours overnight. And like the liquid was just so dark you couldn't really see through it because it's super dark burgundy colour. And then obviously dilutes back in beer. But traditionally in the red ale, you get the colour from the malt. So you can get that from either crystal or a small amount of roasted malt. And even so they have a bit of a red tinge to them, but there's kind of amber, dark amber with a bit of a red tinge. But ours is not like other red ales. It's just called it because it's got a
tinge of red.
Yeah, but it's just not like other red ales. So if you're after a traditional red ale, this isn't it.
Breaks the rules.
Yes, it does.
Where can they get it if they want to buy it?
Mainly, I think it's pretty sure it's only at the cellar door, and I haven't put it up online yet. Maybe someone else has. But check our website. I'll get it up in the next day or two if it's not up there. I better write a note.
Can order it online soon, but if you want it, you've got to go to the cellar door. There's a question from Hannah. She said, was the addition of vanilla expensive?
Oh, not for the amount of beer. So, like vanilla's quite an expensive. Yeah, quite expensive. But for the amount we actually put in, like per litre, it wasn't that much really. So, yeah. Pretty cheap.
To be honest, I'm liking this one a lot more than the previous ones.
Yeah, well, I think it's better personally, but everyone different tastes. So the last year's one was good too, but I think it's by changing the process, it's definitely
made an impact.
Yeah.
I think from what I remember, I've realised my taste bud memory. Don't really. Apart from say if you want to identify chocolate or that's beer or anything, but then the nuances between those different flavors, I struggle to remember specific ones. But from what I remember last time, there was a bigger malty flavor.
Yeah. So
does that make sense to you?
It definitely did. So that's because we really stripped it back this year.
Mm-hmm.
And this one's a little bit drier too, and the alcohol's a little bit up on last year too.
So I guess, 6.2%. This one just says the bottle number 729. What are the other specs in terms of the bitterness and
that's a good question. I think the bitterness we kept reasonably low, so low 20s. Just so it wouldn't, again, to let the fruit shine a bit more. Whereas last year was up around 30. So that's a good question. And can't remember what the density of it is, but it's drier for sure than last year. So quite low. So I think it's in the 2s. Plato, that is.
So I also wanted to ask you another question.
Mm-hmm.
What else? You actually got a new addition to the brewery.
We do. We've got a couple of new additions.
Yeah, so tell us about that.
We've got a still. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
Yes.
Looks cool.
Yes. So we basically got a still to continue making hand sanitizer. So as Becky's showing there, and also we might be planning on doing a little bit of whiskey down the track, and maybe we've got permission from the ATO to do whiskey, vodka, and gin, but we'll see. We might do some grappa or brandy or something at some point, but that's a little bit more complex with red tape, but not undoable. So we've cranked it up. I cranked it up today, actually, for the second time.
Oh, wow. Cool.
Works pretty well. I don't have much of an idea of what I'm doing, but
we'll see. I'm pretty sure it will figure itself out. But if you were to go into the brewery, You can see that like you've got the whole kit behind the bar, well, where you're doing your tastings, and then you've got this nice little still hat coming out of where the kettles are.
Yeah, so we've had that up there for the past couple of weeks. I had to pull it down today because we're brewing tomorrow, but it is sitting on the ground just near one of the tanks, so people can check it out if they want. Yeah, but it's going to be fun. Something new.
Learning something new.
And the other new thing is we've got a new staff member to help out down at the brewery, which is exciting. We've got Ziggy, who people might know from White Rabbit and Four Pillars. We're super chuffed to have her on board. She's a great worker and is really good with the customers. Everyone loves her.
Fantastic. Welcome, Ziggy.
Yeah, it's good to have her on board. We're pretty
wow.
Cool. With the main reason why we got her on is because there's still quite strict regulations on serving and all that sort of stuff. It's all table service, and we were finding that it was putting a little bit too much strain on the staff, and they've had a rough few months and definitely don't want to make it too rough. They do an amazing job at the brewery for us, and we're really grateful to all of them. So yeah, treating them well when they're down there.
How did they find the last couple of weekends? Because it's been in Hillsville, it's been pretty busy, and you really do notice a lot of people when you go down the main street, especially on the weekends. How are they finding that?
They're pretty good. Like, they've handled it, considering that we have to bring in we have to get everyone to fill out the contact tracing stuff, and there's all these contact tracing, and everyone's got to follow these rules, and some people are more open than others. So they've found most people have been really good with it, but the hardest thing is when locals are leaving, they see someone else they know, and at this stage, different tables aren't allowed to mingle, and that's been a little bit frustrating that they have to tell people that when the rules are clear.
Mm-hmm.
But once people know, they're fine. So so that they found it really great to have people back. So it's been really positive because it's been a bit dull up until weekend before last down there. So just good to have people through the door.
So there's this Simon's just posted an interesting recall that's happened with brewers. There's an urgent recall on, if anybody is watching this that is in this area, about accidentally selling bottles of hand sanitizer labeled as gin. Great Ocean Road Brewhouse said 9 bottles of Apollo Gin Distillery's Casino Gin brought was actually hand sanitizer. So just in case anyone did that on those particular dates, don't drink it. It's hand sanitizer, not gin. Okay.
Yeah. So that was always the risk, I suppose. So we were after bottles for hand sanitizer early on, and we chose to wait rather than using our beer bottles, just in
case
that mistake could not happen in our brewery. Because there's always a risk, even though we're really careful about that sort of stuff. Our processes are really good, but there's always a chance a mistake like that can happen, which is why we chose to wait on a different shaped bottle. So yeah,
I definitely do notice the difference when you smell, say, a hand sanitizer that has been used with botanicals. It kind of contradicts the beautiful smell of gin on your hands versus having a sanitizer. The hop infused one that you had, is it still hop infused, your sanitizer?
Just slightly. So it's not. Yeah. So we mix up, the recipe gets mixed up a bit. So it was hard to get ethanol. So some of it has isopropyl alcohol or ethanol that we can make ourselves now. So we mix it up a little bit, but it's pretty much the World Health Organization recipe. That's what we have to do legally.
Yep.
So that's, but we've changed around a little bit.
So we give, so for all guests that are staying at Kangaroo Ridge Retreat at the moment, they actually get a hand sanitizer in their little in their breakfast Pampers. So that is so that if they're around, and not to drink, of course not to drink, but to actually, if they're going around town and they haven't got, they're missing something, they've got something in their handbag and it fits, or in their bag, so it's pretty small. But yeah, but like with all our normal Wednesday winos, we like to end on a high note, because even though we're moving out of isolation that we were, and things are slowly returning to a different world again, but we are able to socialize a bit more, I guess. We like to leave on a high note. So do you have a high note to leave on, Ben?
Yeah, quite a simple one. My son turned 1 this week.
Yeah.
That was good.
Happy birthday.
Yeah. How about you? What's your high note?
I got a haircut, and there was a comment about I chopped off my hair earlier on in the messages. So I'm actually loving the fact that I don't have to brush my hair anymore. No, actually, I had a really great session at Mugshot Hair with Adrian, who cut my hair, and I was like, I'm going to go full on short. And I tried to do that before we went into isolation, and then I fulfilled it afterwards. It's a bit cold, but I still love it. So yeah,
Adrian's great.
Yeah. So that's my new thing. So
cool.
Yeah. So for next week, it's a mystery for what we're going to be doing next week, but stay tuned. On Friday, we'll announce who is going to be on our special guest for Wednesday Winos. So stay tuned for Friday. Oh, who's on Friday?
If anyone's got any suggestions for who could get on too, they maybe just put it in the comments. And
yeah, actually, that's a really good idea. Yeah. Let us know. Who do you want to talk to from one of the wineries in the Yarra Valley? That would be a really, next week is wine week. So, we can talk to someone from a wine week. But, who's playing for live music on Friday at Watts River on Friday?
We have Sun Eden. So, they are one of our favourites. So, they're playing from their house. This will probably be the last weekend that we don't have it at the brewery, because so entertainment venues can open up from the 22nd. So we'll probably have them back at the brewery from the week after, which will be good.
Yeah, good. Fantastic. Well, enjoy. I'll see you guys on Friday then.
Sounds good. Catch ya.
Thanks for joining us.